Hey there, and welcome. If you're bringing goods into Canada, you already know there's a mountain of details to get right. But what if I told you the single most important step, the one that really hits your bottom line, all comes down to cracking one 10-digit code? Okay, let's get into it.
Seriously, think about it. Before you ship anything, before you talk to a customer, before you even think about profit, what's the one question you absolutely have to answer first?
Yeah, that's it. It all boils down to what it's truly going to cost you. We're talking about the duties and taxes you're going to owe. You know, if you get this wrong, it can totally sink your profit margins. But get it right, and you're all set for smooth, predictable, and profitable importing.
So, how do you figure out that true cost? Well, it's not some crazy, complex formula. The answer is a number. A very specific 10-digit tariff classification number. And here's the kicker. You, the importer, are legally on the hook for figuring it out.
Now, hold on. This isn't just some random number that Canada pulled out of a hat. Nope. It's actually based on a huge global standard called the Harmonized System, or HS for short. It's the brainchild of the World Customs Organization. And when I say huge, I mean it. Over 200 countries and economies. We're talking the US, China, the European Union, pretty much everyone. They're all using this system. It really is the universal language of global trade.
You know, probably the easiest way to wrap your head around it is this. Think of an HS code as a passport for your product. It tells every customs agent in the world what your thing is, what it's made of, and what it does. It's kind of like a universal zip code for your goods.
All right, so we've got this big global system. How does that turn into the specific number you need for Canada? Well, this is where we zoom in from the global view to the local one. It's time to decode the Canadian part of the number.
So here's how it's built, piece by piece. The first 6 digits, that's your international passport. The first 4 digits, the heading, give you a broad category. The next 2, the subheading, narrow it down a bit. Everyone in the world agrees on those. But those last 4 digits, that's where Canada puts its own stamp on it. They determine your exact duty rate and are used for tracking statistics. It's a global code with a very specific Canadian end. Okay, so you know what the number is and why it matters. But how in the world do you actually find the right one for your product? The good news is you're not just thrown into the deep end. You've got a toolkit with 3 solid ways to get this done. You can basically choose your own adventure here. You can do the deep dive research yourself, you can call in for some expert help, or you can go for the gold standard and get a formal, legally binding decision.
Let's break them down.
Method 1. Go straight to the source. Your first stop should pretty much always be the Canadian Customs Tariff. You can find it right on the Canada.ca website. This is the official rulebook. It has every single classification number. I'll be honest, it can be a bit dense, but it is the ultimate source of truth.
Now, what if you're staring at that tariff and your eyes are starting to glaze over? Don't worry, you can phone a friend. The Border Information Service, or BIS, is a free service from the CBSA. You can actually call them up and get some guidance on how to classify your goods. It's an amazing resource.
But what if you need that 100% ironclad, no questions asked certainty? Well, that's where an advanced ruling comes in. This is a formal process where you ask the CBSA for a decision on your product before you import. And the result, a legally binding written decision. It's your golden ticket to predictability. So, which way should you go? Well, digging through the tariff yourself is perfect for simple products or when you're just starting your research. But if your product is complex, or maybe it's brand new to the market, or you just really want that peace of mind, getting an advanced ruling is absolutely the way to go. Yeah, it's more effort up front, but the payoff is a legally binding result from the CBSA, not just your best guess.
So we've covered the what and the how, but let's talk about the why. Why is getting this so critically important? Because when it comes to tariff classification, there are strict rules to this game, and being accurate is everything. This is so important. You have to follow the structure. You can't just find a description way down the list that sounds right and pick it. No, first, you only look at the 4-digit headings to find the right big picture category. Got it? Okay, then you only compare the 6-digit subheadings that fall under that one heading. And then finally, you compare the 8-digit tariff items at that level. You have to go step by step from general to specific.
And why do you need to be so careful? Well, don't just take my word for it. Here it is straight from the CBSA. These numbers are used to determine the rate of duty you must pay when importing. It's not a guideline, it's the direct input for how much you're going to pay.
When you nail this, the payoff is huge. It means you pay the exact right amount of duty, not a penny more, not a penny less. It means your stuff doesn't get stuck in limbo at the border, and it protects you from getting hit with penalties or reassessments down the road. It's really the foundation for smooth, predictable import.
So there you have it. You've got the tools, you get the rules, and you've cracked that 10-digit code. You've answered the biggest question about your import costs. That's a huge step, but the journey isn't over. The real question is, now that you've done this, are you ready for what comes next? Thanks for tuning in.